Man, that devil is working. The devil really don't want me to get through this lesson. That's the second time in a row that I've had to stop my video because some stuff going on. I apologize about that, y'all. It just all of a sudden said I had poor connection. I'm at home with Wi-Fi. It is storming, so I don't know if something happened and the Wi-Fi went out. It looked like I got full bars. I don't know what that's all about. That is insane. I was on the road too. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. They just said all of a sudden I had poor connection in the end of my video. This is the second week in a row it's done that. That's that devil, man. I told you, there's some deep stuff in here. There's some deep stuff. The devil been doing everything he can to keep me from finishing up this lesson. But I'm going to keep trolling on. I apologize. I guess I'm going to have to do. Is it lagging or anything? I mean, it stopped completely, so it's a completely different video, so I'm going to think it's lagging. But I mean, it didn't look like it was having any problems to me. And all of a sudden it just said poor connection and it died on me. So, but anyway, we're going to keep on. So, so if you're watching this video, this is going to actually be 2 of 2. I don't know what happened. It said I had a bad connection. So even though I was almost an hour into the other video, it cut off on me. So this video will be finishing it up. And I do apologize to y'all. I don't know what's been going on here lately. It's just that old devil working. Okay. Well, we're going to trudge on. So again, as I was saying, it says, Eli said to them, I have been hearing reports from the people about the wicked things you are doing. So again, once again, number 11 is this. And again, this is deep. This is deep. That's why the devil didn't want me to. When you hate your children, others will hate them as well. You know what I'm saying? In other words, what is Eli saying? No, then the people talking about him. Man, those kids down there, and, maybe think of Bebe's kids. You remember, if y'all remember, and this telling my age, y'all remember when Bebe's kids came out, and what happened every time Bebe's kids came around, what everybody do? Started running. They started scattering. They hated those kids. Why? Because they was terrible, undisciplined kids. See what I'm saying? When you hate your kids, other people gonna hate your kids. All of y'all, and you know what I'm saying, you ain't gotta lie, but I admit it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta admit it. I will admit it. You know what I'm saying? You got kids in your family that they, you know what I'm saying, maybe your cousin's kids or your nephew's kids or your uncle's kids, somebody's kids that if they ask you to watch their kids, you be like, no, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Why? And you don't realize because you don't like those kids. I'm not saying you hate them like I hate those kids, but it's certain kids that I can't stand to be around because something I can't stand is undisciplined kids. I can't stand under kids that think they can get what they want. They throw a fit and they no time out. Oh, I can't. That burns me up. I can't do that. I cannot be around a kid that if I tell them something as their authority figure and they just, you know what I'm saying, just don't listen to me or be disobedient. I can't do it. Because I'm like Bernie Mac, I would mess your kid up. You see what I'm saying? I can't do it. It's certain people, my kids, they want to hang with their friends. It's certain friends I don't let them hang around with because they're bad kids. I don't want them to be around them kids in the first place, but they're definitely not coming over to my house. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. And the thing is, Nikki, everybody's like that. You know what I'm saying? They might not say it to your face. I'm pretty sure you never used it. That's why you thought it was on you. You've never said nothing. But it's certain people, kids, I would not watch. It's certain people, kids that are not coming over to my house. I don't care. We having a family affair. Oh, don't bring them kids. Or if you bring them kids, you better make sure you're with them the whole time. Do not leave them kids here with me unattended. That's not happening. Why? Because they hate your kids because you hate your kids. Nobody don't want to deal with no bad kids. You run around cursing you out. Talking stuff. And see, again, go back to my brother. Man, my wife had a hard time. I think I mentioned in the other part before the video started that me and my wife, we actually got into it several times over it because she was just like, I can't do this. Like, I can't be around this kid. And like I said, our family was like almost ripping apart. And that's why I finally had to have that meeting. And I asked them, hey, if you want to be here, this is what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because, my wife talked about, I don't know, I can't say how serious she was. But, we were talking about splitting because I couldn't just throw the kid back to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? I'm his brother. There was nobody else in our family capable of doing it. So I'm really like his last hope, other than having him bounce around from house to house. Might find a good foster parent, might not. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he's my brother. I couldn't throw him back to the wolves. But my wife, she was at her wit's end. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't do nothing with him. He was so unruly. He was so wild. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, really, I ain't gonna lie to you, and she might get mad at me for snitching on, they don't have the greatest relationship. I mean, they kind of stay out of each other's ways kind of thing because he was so bratty and he was so undisciplined when he got here. You know what I'm saying? It bothers me. You know what I'm saying? It's certain people, when I see them with their kid, hey, you better make sure you stay. You're not leaving your kids with me. I know I had this one lady and her family. Exactly. I had this one lady that was a part of our ministry. I ain't gonna say who they were, but she had 3 boys. You know what I'm saying? These kids bad. I mean, they was bad kids. So with my ministry, if you come to the ministry and you got kids, my wife watches the kids and while I teach the adults. You know what I'm saying? She'll take them into the little Sunday school room or whatever, watch the kids while I teach the adults. But an adult has to be there. You know, well, at first it started off, that's how it was. So what this lady was doing, she came and she attended a couple of meetings, and her boys, they liked coming. She had one that was older, and then the other 2 that liked coming just to be at the church and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what she did was, they were like, oh, you can come pick us up, and then I get there to pick them up. She wouldn't come, but she'll send them along. You see what I'm saying? She wouldn't come to the meeting, she'll send them along. And the first time, okay, maybe she was sick or something. And then the second time, no, it's a trend here. So the third time, when I went and picked them up, I said, hey, if you're not coming, then they're not coming. I was like, we're not babysitters. You know what I'm saying? We're not babysitting, and I won't say your little kids. We're not babysitting your kids. If you want them to be here, you need to be. I deal with them if I have to help you further your relationship with God, but I'm not finna sit here and watch your terrible kids. You know they're terrible. That's why you're trying to get rid of them. You see what I'm saying? And she was doing it, and I had to do it. No, I don't deal with bad kids. I'm not doing it. And I said, we're not babysitters. I like, if you gonna come hear this word, then we just deal with them for this little hour and a half. I like, but you're not about to send your kids on this bus knowing how bad they are, knowing how terrible they are, and think that it's gonna be all okay. No, ma'am. And guess what? Her kids don't come no more. You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't want to come. She just wanted to get rid of them. See, when you hate your kids, other people gonna hate your kids as well. And that was going on here. Eli said, I've been hearing the reports. Why is he hearing the reports? They talking about him. Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure like, man, because again, they was harassing the Israelites, the people that were God's people that was going to the temple, the people that was going and trying to do the thing they supposed to be doing. They sitting there taking their sacrifices, having sex with the temple servants, the women that was helping at the temple. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody was talking about them. They probably hated going to church because, in fact, they didn't want to be subjected to what his boss was doing to them. So they hated. It messed up. Really, a lot of people. I guarantee you, it messed up their relationship with God. Because people's relationship with God is already so finicky. They had one bad experience in church. Oh, I don't like going to church because I had a bad experience in church. You know what I'm saying? So the people's relationship with God is already finicky, and for them to have to be subjected to something like that from the preacher's kids, no, they wouldn't have that. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you they was talking about it. And they probably hate going there. They hated going to church and end up messing up their relationship with God because this man didn't love his kids. You see what I'm saying? So when you don't love your kids, other people's not going to love your kids. Like I said, it's several kids, I'm not going to watch them. Like when I coached football, it was certain kids I didn't like to deal with on the football team. Just little hard-headed kids, spoiled, rotten kids. You know what I'm saying? You can tell they never had a butt whooping. In my ministry, I never say their name because I don't want to start coming to the ministry, but it's certain ministry people, kids that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? No, you got to be here. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And you got to realize that when you don't like your kids, other people don't like your kids, and that's why they get treated so bad. Again, we'll go back to them kids that I'm talking about over in the hood the other day. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they're a nuisance in the area. I'm pretty sure it's certain people, when they see them coming, they lock their doors, they lock their cars. You know what I'm saying? Certain people, when they see them coming, they might even run and hide. Because they're not loved at home, and therefore they're not going to be loved out in this world as neither. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand that when you don't love your kids, other people are not going to love your kids as well. And that's why, again, we see our generation in the situation that they're in now. That's why we see our kids going through what they're going through now, because it's just not love. The parents don't love the kids. So if you don't love your kid, what make you think I'm going to love your kid? Now, you might look up every now and again. Like me, I can't say I wasn't looking. My grandma loved me. My mom and my dad, they did their own thing. They never loved me. My grandma loved me enough to make up for them. You know what I'm saying? But there was several of my friends, they just never had that. Most of the stuff you see, the evil that you see in this world, most of the things you see people doing, when you like, man, how can that person do that? When I see that, I always say to myself, I guarantee you, there was never some real person ever in that kid's life that actually said I love you or showed I love you. It's one thing to say it, but actually showed that kid the affection to say I love you. That what happened to my brother. He was 8 years old. When he came to my house, he didn't even know how to use a spoon. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was eating cereal, and one day, and like, he's at the house, and he was like doing this and doing this, and we were like, what the hell is this kid doing? Milk splashing everywhere. And we're like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm trying to eat my cereal, but this thing won't work. I said, what thing? He said, this thing here. And he had the spoon turned the other way up, trying to eat off the back of the spoon. 8 years old. So we basically had to tear this kid down and retrain him from the beginning. And like I said, he's 14 now, doing good. He's still annoying as hell. But I mean, he's doing way better and has so much potential. And all he needed was to be loved. You know what I'm saying? But nobody had ever loved him before. His parents didn't love him. Other people didn't love him as well. He had been kicked out of first grade. He had been kicked out of school in the first grade. He got so many suspensions that the teacher didn't even want to come back to school. You see what I'm saying? And of course, you just don't like my son. No, we don't like your son. Your son is a menace. No, we do not like your son. Your son is a menace. Now, I saw this meme one time on Facebook. It said, B words, I ain't gonna say this. B words, I always be talking about, I'm finna leave Memphis. It'd be too much shooting here. He said, lady, it's your kid that's doing the shooting. Make sure you take him with you. You see what I'm saying? We don't love our kids, and we put them out in this world, and they act the fool, and they become a nuisance and a menace to society, so other people don't love them as well, and they just continue because they've never felt love. Again, these kids are not lost. They're just not loved. That's why they're going through what they're going through, and that's why these kids was doing what they was doing. Their father didn't love them. You know what I'm saying, man? Even God is going to call them out on it. Their father did not love them, so he knew what they was doing and never stopped them from doing. Never once did he correct them for the things that they was doing. He didn't love them. And because he didn't love them, nobody else loved them either. And that's why the whole town was talking about him. You know what I'm saying? That's why the whole town was talking about him, because nobody loved them. And when you look at these kids, you should empathy. I don't say pity these kids, but you should have empathy for these kids. Yes, I know they're out there breaking your car windows and stealing your tires and snatching people out of cars down in Memphis and shooting them. But it's not because they're evil. It's not because they're so bad. They're just not loved. And we should feel bad for them that they in this situation where they have no love. So they figure this is the only thing they can do to get ahead in this world, or this is the only thing they can do to get any kind of attention. Most people don't even pay attention to them. You know what I'm saying? And the only way they can get this attention is by acting out. Again, that's what happened with my son. This whole time I'm thinking, like, this boy just going off the deep end. How did he go from being this good, stable kid, reliable kid, to being this rebel? And it's because he was acting out because he didn't think I loved him, because I wasn't disciplining him. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened. So when you hate your children, others will hate your children as well. That's number 11. Number 11. So number 12. I'm trying to get through this, y'all, but I told you I wasn't gonna make no problem because this is just so deep. And again, it hits home with me so much, and that's why I really want to make sure y'all understand what we're doing, why our kids are like this. If we can get, and I always thought about, like, one thing that helped me out was the community center in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I stayed there, Greenlaw Community Center. I spent the majority of my time there. You know what I'm saying? I had coaches that showed me they loved me. You know what I'm saying? I had the neighborhood people that showed me they loved me. That really helped me. We don't have that. And that's always my dream, to get rich enough where I can have just like this huge center where I can take in all these unloved kids and just give them the love, give them the discipline they need, give them the attention they need, and guide them in the direction they need to go. That's always been my dream. Maybe the Lord will make it happen one of these days. You know what I'm saying? Need a lot of money to do it, because it's going to be, the unwanted kid. That's why my ministry is called the Lost Sheep Ministry. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about these kids, but I do the same for adults that never felt the love of God because they never had anybody show them that direction. That's exactly what the Lost Sheep, that's exactly what it stands for. I go out and look, Jesus said, he said, the Lord rejoices over one, he'll leave the 99, a shepherd will lead the 99 sheep that never strayed away, to go and get the one that did stray away. You know what I'm saying? And it says it rejoices, rejoicing in the presence of the angels for one sinner that does repent. You know what I'm saying? That one. And that's what I'm looking for, that one that never felt love, that never felt a part of anything, that felt discarded. And I want to give them that love and let them know, like, look, somebody do love you. I ain't gonna say everybody love you, but at least I love you. and I do whatever I can to help you get ahead. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have a huge center where I can do that for all these kids and take these kids in. And I'm telling you, man, when you show the kids some interest, you show them that you really do love them, get them that discipline, that structure, man, they'll turn around just like that. And just like people say with my brother, again, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just telling you, people have told me, I've heard it several times, they say, man, that's not the same kid that came up here. And he's not, because the kid that came up here was undisciplined and unloved, and the kid that up here, he's been disciplined and he's been loved somewhat. I can't say all the way. No, he's been loved. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we did. You know what I'm saying? No medicine ain't gonna be able to do it. No laws ain't gonna be able to do it. No rules gonna be able to do it. It's gonna be a butt whooping and a lot of heart. That's what it's going to take to change our kids, get our kids back on the path they need to be. A lot of butt whoopings and a lot of love. They need to know that they love, and we show them we love them by getting them the butt whoopings. So number 11, when you hate your children, others will hate them as well. And that's what we see going on. That's why Eli's hearing about it and talking about it, because the people hate them. They hate going to church. They hate going to the temple, because they know all they're going to do is be harassed by Eli's terrible kids. That is a bad situation to be in. You know what I'm saying? See, man, really, they stole your car? Man, that's exact. And the thing is, Nikki, we can. But we got to be willing. It's just like I talked in point from the last lesson. Was it the way we can do it? When I said, when you love your children, it was point number 7. When you love your children, your life will be an example of how to love them. Put in the time. We just got to be willing to put in the time and effort. And sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, it seems like they ain't worth it. Sometimes, like, man, it ain't even worth the effort. But in reality, if you can see what it does to them children, it is. It's definitely worth it. But sometimes, man, it's hard. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. Like I said, for us, it almost tore our family apart. And then I finally, by the grace of God, I realized the missing ingredient that was making it so hard, and it was that butt whooping. You know what I'm saying? I gave him that butt whooping. We ain't had no problem ever since. He hasn't been suspended once. No, he got ISS one time, but even because he was just doing what kids do. It was somebody fighting, and they gave like, hey, record this, and he recorded it like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? That's just dumb kid stuff, because everybody put everything on the internet these days. That's the only time he's ever got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Just doing stuff that everybody always do. You see what I'm saying? But as far as like fighting and things of that nature, no problem. Straight A's. You know what I'm saying? His grades are better than my kids' grades. You know what I'm saying? Straight A's. And all he needed was some love and attention and a butt whooping. That's the key, the butt whooping. So number 11, when you hate your children, others will hate them as well. So then the next verse, it says, now this Eli talking to him again. He's saying something to him, but yet he's still not showing them the love. He's showing them some attention, but he's not really giving them the attention they need. So he's kind of scolding them a little bit, but they're still not the discipline they need. They need that rod. So he's talking. He said, Eli said to them, I've been hearing reports from the people about the wicked things you are doing. Why do you keep sinning? You must stop, my sons. The reports I hear among the Lord's people are not good. If someone sins against another person, God can mediate for the guilty party. But if someone sins against the Lord, who can intercede? Now, there, I'm going to read the King James Version, because they said, sin against the Lord can intercede. That's not what the King James Version say. And my point goes along with more the word of the King James Version. So the King James Version says this in verse 23, says, and he said unto them, why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is not good, for it is no good report that I hear. You make the Lord's people to transgress. So you see, they was leading the God's people the wrong way, because they was the preachers. And like I said, the people was hating to go to church and hating to go do their sacrifices that they were supposed to do, because they was being harassed by his terrible kids. So that it just proves my point. And then in verse 25 said, now if one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Lord, who shall entreat for him? You see what I'm saying? So it's talking about more judgment. So he said, if you sin against God, nobody can judge. But if you sin against man, then man can judge you. And that's going to be my point number 12. Number 12 is this. When you hate your children, you subject your children to the judgment of others. You know what I'm saying? When you hate your children, you subject your children to the judgment of others. And that's what you're doing. When you hate your children, and you hate your children by not disciplining them, by not giving them the discipline they need, the attention they need, the love they need, then you subject them to the judgment of others. And not just from the point of, no, that child is bad because he's doing this. No, you really subject them to the judgment of others. That's why these kids are in jail. You see what I'm saying? That's why these kids are in and out of jail. That's why it's no big deal for them to be in and out of juvenile, in and out of prison and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because they was never loved. Matter of fact, I saw it just so happened. And that just show you how God works. I'm playing around on Facebook last night, checking my message, and I don't know if anybody else experienced this. For some reason, I'm getting a plethora of friend requests every day, and some of them are fake. I can tell they're fake, and some of them I can't really tell. And the problem is with my ministry, I have to accept all of them because I pass out my tracks all the time. So I don't know if somebody genuinely want to be a part of the ministry or it's just some fake profile trying to hack my page. But I've been getting a lot of them. But anyway, so I was trying to go through all these friend requests that I had and on Facebook, and I saw this dude, one of my friends, he had posted a video. And I don't know if this is for something else, but it basically, he said, "Don't cry, mama." You know what I'm saying? And he was saying, "Don't cry, mama." And basically he was saying, when your kid is in jail and when your kid is in that box, you don't need to be crying because it's your actions that put him there. You know what I'm saying? It's because you let him do what he want to do that put him there. It's because of the path you let him grow up. It's you not getting him a close relationship with God that put him there. It's your fault that he's there. Ultimately, it is. Now, of course, we all got the opportunity to still make our own decisions when we get older, but up until the 18, they under you. You know what I'm saying? They're your responsibility. So if you're not guiding them in the right direction, if you're not, I'm single parent or not, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you know, it's hard. I admit, I got a wife. I got support. And when she was down in, I was in Texas last week, so I know it was rough on her. And the week before, she was in Nashville the whole week. And it was rough on me. I was only, watching these little ugly kids for 4 days. And it almost drove me crazy. So I understand it's hard to be single parent because you got to do everything by yourself. You got to work, you got to provide, you got to keep an eye on all that. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? The best way the balance, they just don't have kids with people that's not reliable. I mean, I might say I'm not being not empathetic or whatnot, but I mean, if you know a person no good or not, you know what I'm saying? Don't just stop just hooking up with folks because they look good or sound good or say what they want, man. Make sure you with somebody that's going to be responsible. And if you're going to do something with them, they're going to be responsible enough to take care of to handle the consequences of their action. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's hard, but stop crying for these kids when it's your fault that they're there. You're the one that didn't discipline them. You're the one that didn't show them the love. You're the one that didn't give them the attention that they needed. And that's what the dude was talking about. That was so deep. I was like, oh, man, because it sounds mean. It sounds mean, but the truth hurts. And that's what he was saying. It was just a little short video, and he was like, man, stop crying, mama. Stop crying. Don't be hooping and hollering when the judge give him 25 to life. Don't be in court hooping and hollering. You knew that child was terrible. You never disciplined. Stop crying. You know what I'm saying? And he just went on like, man, that's crazy. And it just so happened to fit into what I'm talking about here. And that's what he was talking about. When you hate your children, you subject them to the judgment of others. You know what I'm saying? Them kids that's in front of them judges, again, kids that never was loved, never did get that guidance they needed, never did get that butt whooping they needed. That's why they're in the situation they're in. And you put them in that situation. You see what I'm saying? So don't cry now. It's too late to be crying now. And he had another point. He said, he said, don't cry, mama. He said, because when that kid went to school and that teacher tried to get on that kid and you went up there and cursed the teacher out because that teacher don't have the right to say nothing to your kid, that's why they in jail. That's why they in that box. So don't cry. And I was like, man, that is deep. But that's exactly, and it's crazy that it came up, and I just saw this yesterday, and it's crazy. That's exactly what this point is talking about. It's your fault. If you don't discipline your kids, you don't show them kids that you love them, if you don't put that time in with them, you don't make that sacrifice, that make sure that they have, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, and I'm just, again, like with my oldest son, I was talking to my oldest son the other day. Now he's doing some dumb stuff that I'm not happy with at all. You know what I'm saying? Him and his girlfriend broke up. So now he's kind of like, oh, I don't think I love my kids no more. And I jumped all over him. About that. I said, man, those are your kids. I don't care what you and that girl going through. You love those are your seeds, and you need to do everything you need to do. I said, I said, you're not even my kid biologically, but you've never felt that from me. So how you gonna say that about your own kid? And you know what I'm saying? I said, you don't realize you setting them kids up for failure. And I said, your dad did the same thing to you, and look what you had to go through as a young guy. I said, now God, by God's grace, a man came along that was willing to take up the responsibility of trying to raise you or whatnot, and raising you and trying to be a good example for you. I said, you should be grateful for that, and you should continue that. Don't be talking about, man, I was so bad when he said that, because I love my grandbabies too. I mean, I love my grandbabies. Heck, I think I love my grandbabies more than I love them. So him to say that, man, made me so mad. You know what I'm saying? And when you do things like that, that's showing your kids you don't love them. I like what you and that girl going through has nothing to do with her. You know what I mean? Nothing to do with them kids. You love them kids. I said, and in fact, I told him, because he wanted me to help him get a car. I said, I'm not going to do nothing for you until I see you taking care of your kids like you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? I honestly don't even want you around me. That's to me, that's the weakest thing that a man can do, to have them kids with somebody and not do their part. I don't care if you and the baby mama having a problem. If the only thing you can do is write your kids, you better be writing a letter every day. You know what I'm saying? If the only thing you can do is see pictures of them, you better scroll through every picture on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do every day. Whatever you got to do to have some kind of relationship with your kids, you need to be doing it, because if you don't, you're setting your kids up for failure. You put them in a situation where they're going to be judged by others. Whether it's, you know what I'm saying, oh man, he ain't got no. I'm going to tell y'all something that's funny that's been going on here in my town. It's funny, but it's not funny. You know, with me being a black man, a full black man, and a dad, like, it blows the mind. And I'm not trying to make this a racist thing, but I mean, it is what it is. It blows the mind of these white people in our area. Like, when they find out that my kids, I live with my kids. Like, they like, they're like, my kids, you know, and I've been in this town, we've been in this town for 8 years. And you know what I'm saying? I used to go to the football game, but I don't no more because my boy's not playing. So I guess for the last 2 years, I ain't really been in a football game. So my kids will say something about their dad, and they like, you got a dad? And I get like, yeah. And like, where's he at? Like, at home. You stay with your dad? You know what I'm saying? And that's bad. You know what I'm saying? And they're not, and the thing is, they're not trying to be, you know what I'm saying, jerks or racist or whatever, but it's just, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's so prevalent in our community, and especially in our race, that when you find somebody they come across, and then when they hear that I'm a kid, it blows their mind. Like, whoa. Matter of fact, my daughter told me, she's like, yeah, Dad, I hope you know why you was in Texas. You was like exactly, they lack black fathers. Cause my daughter, she told me when I got back from Texas, she said, I want you to look, she said, what's your ears burning out? Like, what are you talking about? She said, she said, one day last week, we spent our entire class period talking about you and people looking at pictures of you. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, they were just so infatuated with the fact that I had a dad, and he was huge, and he was a chemist. So every time I told them something else about you, it just blew their mind, and then we had a 15, 20-minute discussion on how is that possible kind of thing. And that is sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't really fault them for that, because it's people out here that's doing those things, just having kids and leaving the mamas by themselves, leaving these mamas to be single parents. You know what I'm saying? So I can't fault them for that, because it's true. A majority of black households don't have the father there. Or, you know what I'm saying, you got some where it got the father and don't have the mama. But either way it go, excuse me, y'all, that's that tea, but I got to keep my voice. But either way it go, you know what I'm saying, it's sad. You got all these broken homes, and because of these broken homes, we're not able to give the kids the adequate attention they need. We're not able to give them the adequate love they need, and therefore, next thing you know, down the line, after years of being neglected, after years of not really feeling love, then next thing you know, they standing in front of a judge somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this guy was talking about. He said, "Don't cry, mama." He said, you know what I'm saying? When the Miss Shirley down the street, he said something like that. He's like, when Miss Shirley down the street saw your kids out there breaking out windows in abandoned houses and told you about it, you got all on her, cursed her out. That's why. That's why they in that box right now. That's why they in that jail right now. Don't cry. So when you don't discipline your kids, you don't love your kids. And when you don't love your kids, you're subjecting them into the judgment of others. Again, whether it's people looking down on them because they don't have a father, man, his dad never shows up to this. His dad never. I've actually felt bad because my brother's football season has started. And the first game I didn't go to because it was a travel game and he don't start. So, like, that's my rule. I'm sorry. If you're not starting, I'm not going to the game. I'm not going to sit on the bench watching you watch me watch you. I'm not doing that, especially up here because it takes an hour to get to all the away games. And then last week he had another away game that he actually going to get some decent playing time in it, but I was in Texas. So I don't know. I feel bad that I haven't made it to one of his games yet. Now, thank God this week, I think the next 4 games are all going to be home, so it shouldn't be a problem. But I want to show up for him because people start looking at it like, man, you know what I'm saying? Nobody ever came to the game. You know, his dad, her dad ain't never showed up for the daddy-daughter dance. You know what I'm saying? That stuff, it make the kids feel bad. And it make them feel resented. Like my older son, he has daddy issues, but not from me, but from the fact that he's old enough now that he has his own kids that understand how much of a letdown that your own biological father never really had nothing to do with you. Even though a man did, and I really believe that, but he has these issues, and I really believe that's what it is. I'm not just trying to I raised him perfect, and it has to be that. But that's what it is. He just, it hurts his heart. He's really hurt that his biological dad never took the time and effort. It took some stranger, some other man, just thank God it happened to be a good man, at least I try to be a good man, to come in and give me the love that my own biological dad wouldn't give me. That hurts because there's so much stuff he does, even though I did raise him best I could. There's so much stuff he does that I know he is like his dad. My wife says, like, man, he get that from his daddy, even though his dad has never been around. Because there's that biological connection there, that spiritual connection there. You know what I'm saying? Some of the spirit from his father and the genetics, all this stuff is deep. We don't think about that a lot, but that stuff is deep, man, and it goes deep into you. That's why I said the apple don't fall far from the tree. Even though the apple, the tree, once the apple fell from the tree, the apple rolled on down the road down the hill. It's still gonna display them same qualities of that tree. You know what I'm saying? I see that in him. And I know it hurts him that his biological dad never took time to put forth the effort to raise him at his own, and some other man had to do it. And like I said, I did my best, but at the same time, he still was my biological son. You see what I'm saying? And there's some differences that's obvious. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't because I like, well, he's my son. I've always treated, matter of fact, my middle son used to get upset because he said he felt that I treated Jason, which was my older son, more. I gave him more attention and more love than I gave him. And I'm like, well, son, it's not that I didn't love him more. It's just that he needed a little bit more because he understood that I wasn't really his dad. And I wanted to make sure he knew that didn't change the way I loved him. But even with that, he still always had that little resentment toward his real dad. You see what I'm saying? And when you're a parent and you're not around, or you're not giving making the sacrifice for your kid, when you're not putting the time in with them, and you're not disciplined like you're supposed to, when you're not showing them that you love them, all you're doing is setting them up for failure, and you put them in a position to be judged by others. Like I said, whether it's the judge at the court, you know what I'm saying, the courthouse, handing down a 25 to life sentence, or it's the judging from the other kids. Why I've never seen your dad? You know what I'm saying? Why do your dad not come around? You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be pitching. Why don't your dad help you pitch? Well, I ain't got no dad. You know what I'm saying? That stuff hurts, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember it hurt. And it was really even worse for me because my dad actually hung out in the corner of my neighborhood. Never made no effort towards spending time with me. Ever. If I want to see him, I had to go see him. Never came to see me. That hurt. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, I was resented until I still really started learning the Lord. And I really understood, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, and once I got my brother, I actually thank God that my dad wasn't around. Because, I mean, he was around for my brother for 8 years, and look how that turned out. So I thank God that he wasn't around. God knew that if I stayed around this man, I would have turned out horrible. I remember one time I needed some money, and I asked him, and he had got like some kind of settlement. So I'm like, he got some money. At least I can get some from him. And I hit him up like, man, you know what I'm saying, send me a few dollars. And I'm kind of down right now. I got some bills I need to pay because you helped me out. And this man tells me, won't you go get you a pack and sell that? You'll have plenty of money. So instead of helping me out, or even just, you know what I'm saying, man, try to get another job or something, he tells me to go get some drugs to sell it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's why God didn't have you in my life. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? But that's not always that. And I'm maybe still a little resentful for it. That I never really had a father. He stole my money when I got when I tried to buy a car. I think I told y'all that story. So maybe there is a little resentment there, but I let it make me stronger instead of making me weak. But a lot of people don't do that. They use that. They take that anger and their resentment, and they tell, well, nobody loves me anyway, and so I might as well do what I need to do. I might as well do whatever because nobody loves me, nobody cares. So I'm just gonna wild out and I'm basically gonna just live to die. That's what most of these kids, that's why they act the way they act, and they do the way they do the thing they doing. They don't feel like they're loved, so all they doing, they living to die. They just waiting to die. That's what they testing that boundary every day, because they just want somebody, either somebody is gonna come in and say that they love them, or somebody gonna come in and judge them. That's their options. You know what I'm saying? And you put them in that situation when you don't love them enough to spend the time, make the sacrifices, and do what you need to do to show them they love, by getting them that butt whooping, give them their time and attention, and give them that guidance they need. So number 12, when you hate your children, you subject them to the judgment of others. You know what I'm saying? So again, when these kids are going to jail, when they going into the ground at an early age, when they're out there snatching people out their cars and shooting them, that's because they were never loved. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff, everything that we're looking for, everything that we see, all these problems, it goes back to love. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we're seeing because of the hatred of our kids that we've been doing for all these last 3 or 4 generations. Because we really, honestly, I think my generation, me and you, I think we the exact same age, Nick, and Robert, a couple months difference. But I think that our generation really was one of the last generations that was truly nurtured by the I don't say future generations, past generations that really brought us up and nurtured us and just kind of got us along the path. We don't have that no more. And I think our generation was the last one. And once we die off, oh my goodness, I can only imagine what it's going to be like when my grandkids and their grandkids get older. I can only imagine. I just saw the statement. You used to volunteer at high school and I was able to reach a few. Yeah. Exactly. It took the energy out of it. I'm sorry, I just saw your statement about volunteer. Yes, like I said, now I think I was making a point earlier when we talking about that. Yes, it takes a lot of work and a lot of energy. So we can do it. It's just a lot of work to do it. And sometimes you like, is it even worth it? You know what I'm saying? So number 12, I guess I'm gonna do one more. I'm already an hour and a half over. Cause like I said, this just is so good. I thank God so much for really opening this up for me. And I hope it's been helping y'all. And I'm not just running my mouth, getting on your nerves. Number 12, when you hate your children, you subject them to the judgment of others. You know what I'm saying? So again, when the kids are going to jail, going into the ground, getting in trouble, acting out, it's all because they haven't been loved. So then I'm gonna do this last one, then I'm just gonna stop here after this last point. So then the next one, he said, now if someone sins against another person, God can mediate for the guilty party, but if someone sins against the Lord, who can intercede again? I read the King James Version on that. That's where I got my point from. And then this last one, he said, but Eli's sons wouldn't listen to their father. And here you go. And this is why this lesson is so important, because you got to realize what it does when you don't show these kids this love, when you spread the rod. This is what it does. This is why it's so important. This is honestly, other than number 10, this is probably one of the most important points of this lesson. Watch here. It says, but Eli's sons wouldn't listen to their father. And here you go. For the Lord was already planning to put them to death. You see what? You see what happened there? It said the Lord was already planning to put them down. They were so bad that the Lord was already planning on killing them. So number 13 is this. When you hate your children, your inaction, when you hate your children, your inaction will keep them on the path that will lead to their destruction. That's what happened when you don't discipline your children. You're actually, when you don't discipline your children, you enable them to keep going down those paths they're going down. And when you do that, guess what? They end up being destroyed. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of goes with number 12. That's why I said, don't cry, mama. You was the one that did that. You enabled them. He knew that his sons was having sex, seducing the virgins in the temple. He should have put a stop to that. You see what I'm saying? But he kept on letting them do it. Y'all don't do that. I'm going to put you in timeout. What talking to them going to do? Pull that bed out and beat their butt. And they had the right to do that back in the day. Matter of fact, they said back in the day, if a child, and if you could get into the laws of Moses, they said if a child was rebellious, that you can take that child to the court square and tie him up and stone him to death. You actually had the right to kill a rebellious child back then. And everybody was like, yeah, that was a bad little boy. I saw him. You had that right. So there was no excuse for him not disciplining his children. But because he didn't, he led them on the path of destruction. Because he let them get away with what they was getting away with so long, God said he was going to destroy them. Because you remember, you know what I'm saying? You're like, well, why would God destroy those kids? Don't forget. I know it's been a while because I talked so much. And it was about 2-3 lessons ago. But don't forget, they were stealing God's sacrifices. That's why the people didn't like them. Don't forget that, because I know we've only went through like 26 verses in 3 lessons. No, actually like even like 13 verses in 3 lessons. But don't forget over there in verses between was 12, between verses 12 and 15, that they was taking the people's sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? People were bringing their sacrifices. They was bullying them, sending their servant over there with a three-pronged fork to take the meat out before they had the chance to offer it to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They was doing God greasy. You see what I'm saying? So that's why God wanted to destroy them. And Eli knew they was doing it and didn't say nothing to him. So in reality, yes, it's their actions that got to know where they at, but it's his inaction that really put them in that position. Because he didn't discipline them, that's why they're where they at. Because he never said, don't do that. If y'all remember, this happened to David. If y'all familiar with your Bible, which I hope y'all are, I hope y'all don't just, the only Bible y'all get is when y'all come here, because y'all see we've only covered like 13 verses in 3 weeks. So please get in your Bible and read it yourself. But if you remember, when David's son ran him out of town, if you look at when they talk about it, he had a son named Absalom, and Absalom ended up running him out of town. Now, this happened because David had sex with Bathsheba, you know what I'm saying, and killed her husband. So, you know what I'm saying, he had an affair with this lady and killed her husband to cover up the fact that he got her pregnant. So this was his punishment. But when it talks about Absalom, if you look at when it gives a description, I don't remember exactly what chapter, but you look it up yourself, and that way you get you some Bible. But you remember when it talked about Absalom, it says that he was the most handsome man in the land. Talks about how thick his hair was. His hair was so thick that he had to cut it because it got heavy for his head. But it also makes this statement. It said David never. It basically said David never disciplined him. Never once did he even say, "What are you doing?" You see what I'm saying? And what ended up happening when that boy got older? He ended up taking his dad's throne and running his dad out of town, and ended up trying to kill his own dad. Why? Because he never was loved. David's inaction is what put him in that situation to where he ended up having to flee from his own son. And guess what? His son ended up getting killed. He actually went to war with his own son, and his commander Joab, his son got. It was a funny story actually, because they was at war. And the boy went out, you know what I'm saying, to show, you know, I'm with my troops and everything. And they ended up losing, so he tried to run away. And as he was running away, his head got stuck in a branch. And I'm guessing it's one of them branches that kind of fork or whatever. And his head got stuck in the branch. So he was sitting there hanging by his neck because his mule kept on running. So people saw him and went and told the commander, like, hey, this dude over stuck in a tree, you know, the one we've been looking for. And he's like, well, why don't you kill him? Now, David had especially said, don't kill a boy. Just, you know what I'm saying, you can capture him, that's fine, but don't kill him. So Joab was like, man, you should have killed him. I would have gave you blah, blah, blah. And Joab went over there and stabbed him in the chest. You see what I'm saying? So eventually, David's inaction is what ended up getting his son killed. And then, of course, now I think about it, I didn't even think about this. And of course, when he found out his son got killed, they said he mourned for like days. He mourned for like days. Matter of fact, Joab had to go tell him, he said, well, he was crying so hard for his son that when the soldiers came back, instead of them celebrating because they had got a victory, they came in like they had lost. Like everybody cried. Y'all, if y'all ever play sports, you know how it is when you're on the bus and you just went out there and you just beat your rival the whole way at their home stadium, whole way back, you celebrate. Oh man, I remember when you did that and you made this move, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I used to love that. But at the same time, you know how it is when you went out there and you got your butt kicked. Nobody saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can hear her ant piss on cotton. It's so quiet. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they was. They didn't come back, even though they won the war, you know what I'm saying, beat the enemy. They didn't come back, you know what I'm saying, celebrating and clapping hands, slapping hands and stuff like that. They came back sad. As a matter of fact, said they creeped into the town like some people that had lost in the battle that was ashamed. Why? Because David was crying so hard. You know what I'm saying? And now I think about after seeing that video the other day, don't cry, David. It's your fault. You know what I'm saying? It said that you never at any point in his life disciplined him. That's why he grew up to be a rebel. So again, all these tie in, y'all. I don't be y'all saying it all ties in. When you look at these kids with sympathetic eyes. It's not their fault, even though they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And you would wish they would do better. But in reality, it's not their fault. It's us. We have failed them. The adults have failed the kids. The kids are acting like they are because of those. And of course, we know that, but we need to know that on a much deeper level. You know what I'm saying? Me and you, not just their parents themselves, me and you. You know what I'm saying? We are like that because we don't put our time into those kids as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to do. That's why I'm trying to encourage. When I was out there talking to them kids Saturday, I tried my best to talk to this young man. I'm like, look at you, young man. I'm like, yeah. You know, he's like, man, you can't save me. I said, yeah, I know I can't save you. I said, but Jesus can. Man, Jesus can't save me. You know what I'm saying? And that hurt my heart because that's his mentality. That's his mentality. And I know it's like that because he's never experienced love. It ain't that Jesus can't save him. It's not that he's so bad, so far gone that nobody can do nothing with him, even God. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, you know how arrogant you got to be to think that you're so bad that the blood of Jesus can't cover you, that you're so bad that God himself can't do nothing with you. You know how arrogant and ignorant you have to be for that? But that's what they hit because they've never experienced that love. And he was probably 13, 14, maybe 15, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But that's 13 and 14 years of being rejected. 13 and 14 years of never having somebody show that they genuinely care. Like I said, saying I love you and showing I love you is two different things. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I try to teach guys when I do marriage counseling. Like, look, you can tell your wife you love her all day, but she ain't going to believe it. It's the little things you do that show her you love her. You know what I'm saying? You can tell your girl all day. You can tell your kids, I love you all day. But it's the things that you do, your actions, is what show that you really love them. And that's what we got to understand. Our actions always speak louder than our words. I did a sermon a while ago, and it said, you walk, talk, and you talk, but you walk, you talk, you walk, talk, and you talk, but you walk, talk louder than you talk. So in other words, your action says more to your kids than your words do. You can say you love them all day, but if your actions don't show that, then they're not going to feel that. And that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a generation full of kids that's never been loved, and therefore they're just destroying themselves because of it. Because they've never had anybody tell them that, hey, you can do better. Hey, you can be better. Hey, this is not all that life is. And I would tell y'all, that's why I am where I am today. Because every point in my life when I started feeling down, every pivotal moment in my life, I had somebody step in and be like, hey, you can do better. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can be, you know how I was talking about earlier, when you hate your kid, others will hate your kids as well. You know what I'm saying? It was some of my cousin people didn't like dealing with. But me, oh yeah, John, come on. Never had a problem. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's John. Oh yeah, come on. Yeah, watch John, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Because they know I wasn't going to do nothing. I wasn't going to do nothing I wasn't supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I was sit and watch TV or read a book or something. Oh yeah, John, no problem. You know, they asked my cousin Sean. I like to meet my cousin Sean. Oh no, we ain't keeping Sean. No, you gonna have to find somebody else to do that. You see what I'm saying? And it's because, you know what I'm saying, I had people in my life that showed me that love. They was willing to put the effort in with me. Matter of fact, a guy, a good friend of mine, two men that really had a pivotal impact on my life. One was my scoutmaster when I was a Boy Scout. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Allen called him, still talk to him to this day. I graduated, I'm 40, I just turned 43. So I finished Boy Scouts when I was 18. So that's 20, I can't even do math right now. 25 years ago that I ain't been a Boy Scout, still talk to this man to this day. You know what I'm saying? He called me for my birthday the other day. I called him for his birthday. You know what I'm saying? And what he did was, when I got in the Boy Scouts, he saw my family situation. But yet, I was always at every meeting. I couldn't purchase a uniform because I was so broke. He bought my uniform for me. You know what I'm saying? Helped me to get my projects done so I can get my Eagle Scout badge. When I was in college, he co-signed for me to get my first car. Brand new car off the lot. First time, I never imagined doing that, but I got a brand new car. It was when Kias first came out. Now, when they first came out, they was horrible cars. They came up now, but I mean, they was horrible. But this man signed his name on the dotted line so I can get my first car. Why? Because he knew I had been loved, and he knew he was showing me the love because I was worth it, because I had been loved my whole life. Like I said, my grandma, she nurtured me. The people in my neighborhood nurtured me. My coaches nurtured me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was worth being nurtured. You know what I'm saying? I always did what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was a little rebellious kid as a young age, but I learned at an early age as well that, hey, when these adults are telling me stuff, they're not telling me that to be mean or they don't want me to have fun. They're telling me that because they try to keep me out of trouble. And I started listening to adults. You know what I'm saying? And they nurture me. And we have to do that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people are not willing. They wouldn't do that for a good kid, but they're not willing to do that for a bad kid. And that's the thing. We got to put that energy into doing that for these bad kids as well. Like I said, nigga, I know your pain. I've been dealing with this for years. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of energy. Sometimes it's like it's the same thing over and over and over again. And sometimes it feels like they never going to get it right. But you keep going. that love you showing them is going to their heart. And when they get in them deep dark moments, sometimes the only thing they have to hold on to is that encouragement that you gave them, that hug that you gave them the other day, that little gift you gave them. You might have gave them a little $1 card from the dollar store, but you don't realize that might be the only thing they've ever got for somebody. It's important to show them that somebody cares about them, that somebody loves them. And that's what we're doing with our kids these days. We're giving them all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're giving them all kind of material things. We're giving them all kind of freedom, but we're not giving them love, and that's what they really need. And because we hate our children, we're putting our children on a path of destruction, and that's why our kids are destroying themselves today, because they've never known what true love is. So y'all, I'm already close to 2 hours, and once again, I tried to get to 5 points today. I only got to 4. But again, it's so good. I don't want to rush it. It's so deep in here, and we still got a ways to go. We might get 2-3 more lessons out of this before this thing's over. So I pray y'all will bear with me, and I pray that this is really helping y'all, and y'all understanding it. And I bring you to come to conviction, because I know you know somebody in your world right now, some little bad kid. They're like, oh, I can't stand that kid. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's in your family or just a kid that you always see when you go to the store or something. You know what I'm saying? Take some time, have some sympathy for that kid. Try to show this kid some love. It's going to be hard. They might reject you at first because they never had that love. They don't know what's going on. And I honestly, these times, they make it weird because they like the pedophiles and stuff. Try to be a pedophile. But man, just instead of judging that kid and talking down to that kid, if you can find some way to encourage that kid, and you'll see how much that encouragement and that love that they feel would change them around. Because like I said, like when people look at my brother, say he's a new kid, what did you do? I loved him. I loved him, and I beat his butt when he needed it. That's it. No way. I almost say beat. I don't want to get on here and be in jail. I spanked him when he needed it. I ain't beat him. I ain't go all crazy, leave purple marks all over his body because it's kind of white. So it turned out, no, I spanked him when he needed it. You know what I'm saying? When he needs some spanking, I spanked him, and that spanking showed him that I loved him. Because what the Bible says in 13:4, again, probably I'll end with this, that he that spareth the rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him, chasten him betimes. So if you hate your children, you're not going to discipline them. But if you love them, you're going to beat that booty all the time. So I thank y'all for joining me once again. I'm sorry once again for the technical difficulties. Please, y'all, if y'all are watching this video, this is the end. There is another video. Once again, I have to post them to post both of them. I don't know what happened because it hasn't happened since. It just all of a sudden said that I didn't have no internet connection and cut off. So please, if you're watching this one and you have no clue what's going on, or you want to hear the rest of it, you got to go back and hear the introduction, and the first point was on the other video. But with that being said, I'll go to my usual ending announcements. As always, if there's anything in particular you would like me to talk about that I haven't discussed already, or in the stories I haven't already covered, please reach out to me and let me know. I'll work them into my lesson plans. Keep sharing the videos, telling other people about the videos. Once again, I'm getting all kind of friend requests, and some of them are fake, definitely fake. And I can always tell they're fake ones because, like, as soon as I accept the friend request, like 5 minutes later, I get a hey, how you doing? Or hello, my friend, or something like that. And nobody's that eager to talk to people on Facebook, so I go ahead and block them. But keep sharing the videos, tagging people in the videos, telling people about the videos, and just do whatever you can to get this word out there, because this is something the Lord has given me, and I just want to share what the Lord has given me with y'all to hopefully help you build your relationship with the Lord as well. If you're not sure about your salvation, as always, reach out to me and let me know. The most important decision that you will ever make in your life is making a decision to accept Jesus Christ as your Savior. So if you're not 100% sure about that, please reach out to me and let me know. I'll schedule some time to sit down with you, go over the gospel with you, whether in person or over the phone, whatever I need to do to go over the gospel with you and help you make that decision. And as always, if there's any kind of spiritual counseling or guidance you need, you don't understand something in the Bible, I don't understand everything, but whatever little wisdom the Lord has given me, I'll share it with you to help you build your relationship with the Lord. And as always, I am severely behind on uploading my videos to YouTube. I think I probably got like 5 or 6 that I haven't yet, but I will get to them eventually. I was on vacation the week before, and I was in Texas all last week, and I got less sleep in these last 2 weeks than I've had when I actually had to work, so it's insane. But I will get to it eventually. But for the ones that want to catch there's plenty of them on there already right now. I just haven't put my most recent ones on there. But if you want to subscribe to me on YouTube, that way you don't have to go through Facebook all the time or have to scroll through all of the mess I have on Facebook and find some of my videos. This is where you go, God's Servant / Lost Sheep Ministries. Put it in just like that with a space between each word, and it will take you to my channel. Subscribe so you'll know whenever I do finally get those videos uploaded. So with that being said, I thank y'all for joining me tonight. Thank y'all for bearing with me through my technical difficulties and me just running my mouth. But I'm so passionate about this, and I wish this is stuff that I would have known at a younger age or when I was first raising my kids. And hopefully maybe things would come out different, or maybe, I don't know, they just terrible kids. But no, I love my kids, and I thank God for them. And I pray that if y'all have, like I said, if you have kids in your life, kids that you know, and kids that you may been staying away from, maybe your sister's kids or your brother's kid or something, and you've always just had a disdain for them because they're so terrible, try to start showing them a little love. You know what I'm saying? Give them a hug or give them some encouragement. And it's going to take a while, and it's going to take a lot of energy, but if you can get through to them, I guarantee you it'll be worth it. So with that being said, I'm going to pray, I'm going to get out of here. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, thank you so much for watching over us again. Once again, man, got to run on my mouth, but it was your spirit that led me in this direction, Lord. Help me, gave me these points that I was saying again, some more deep points. Like every single point is just so deep, man. And I hope I'm doing it really. I'm hoping I'm doing it the justice that it deserves, the wisdom that you get here. And that's why I'm praying that the Spirit is leading me in this direction, because I'm praying that it really does, that people really get to see it and they will come under conviction, Lord, because we're losing our children. We're losing our children, and our children are our future. You know what I'm saying? And so we lose them, then if we lose our kids, then the future is looking grim. And with the way our kids are right now, our future is looking grim, Lord. No respect, no morals, no anything. And it all because there's no love. That's why they're doing the things they're doing. That's why they're acting out. They need to be loved, Lord. So help us see that and give us the willingness to share that love with them, Lord. We see those kids in our world that need that love. Give us the strength to do it, because it takes a lot of energy, and sometimes it's not always rewarding, and it's seen to be more trouble than it's worth, Lord. But I'm telling you, if you can break through to their kids' heart and let them know that they're loved, man, it can make a world of difference, and it can really change them around and get them off that path of destruction that they're on. So just continue to be with us, be with these words tonight. As they have went out, Lord. This is your word, and I know your word never returns void. So let it find its way into the hearts and the lives of those that need to hear it, especially if they're having problems raising their kids or wondering what they need to do to raise their kids the right way, what they need to do to train their child up in the right direction. Let these lessons be a guide to them, Lord, and just continue to use me and my family and this ministry to do the work that you have for us to do. Keep us all safe as we go about the night. Give me the strength. I got one more. I have three down, Lord. One more day to go preaching. So I pray my voice will last, because I see it's already fading a little bit now. But just be with me as I try to have my Lost Sheep ministry tomorrow night. Give me the strength to make it through that, and just continue to use me, my family, in this ministry to do a wonderful work in your name, to honor and glorify your holy name, and actively build your kingdom. Be with all my members, Lord, all these faithful ones that have been here, Lord, for each one of these lessons. Pray I'm helping them, and I pray you continue to be with them. Give your power, love, and wisdom over any problems going on in their life, and may keep them having a close relationship with you. And just continue to shine your love and grace down upon me and my family and this ministry and the church and all those that's really truly seek to do your work. Keep us all safe as we go about the night, especially with all these storms and everything going on, and wake us up in the morning once again with another opportunity to honor and glorify your name and serve your purpose, your will in our lives. We love you so very much. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for this wonderful lesson tonight, and thank you for giving me the wisdom. Let your spirit guide me in the direction I need to go to bring these truths to your people. We love you. Thank you for all you've done to give him. Say this prayer in your wonderful son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Thank you for joining me, Miss Nikki. I thank you for being here, man. That's definitely an encouragement being here. Got another one. That was part 3. So God willing, next Monday, 7 o'clock, same bad channel, same bad shine. We're trying to see if we can get on through this thing. But until then, man, y'all continue to pray for me. I continue to pray for y'all. And just remember, the Lord loves you, so always watch your back and pray. Love y'all. Be safe. Until next time, peace.